Hey, Shalom, Shalom, Shalom. First and foremost, call all Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Ba'adash. Once again, double honors go out to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone. Alright, who rule well. Salutations also go out to the Akim out there on the highways and byways, pushing this truth with all honesty and sincerity. Trying to wake up the remaining, hopefully elect. This is Naaman with the DC camp. And when you think of all the petty reasons that Jake was lynched in the past, to include what I'm about to show you here. This is again from Phil Scott's podcast. His other channel is the African Diaspora. Oh boy. In 2023, past the halfway point, I might add, in very late June, this is happening. Like I said, it hasn't been that long ago. So for all these people that you hear, well, just get over this, just get over that. First of all, fuck you. You're not living our lives. You're not experiencing what we experience on a daily basis. Alright? Yes, as you probably have read, it says, so-called black man arrested after shushing a white woman in Mississippi. Shh, shh, shh. Hey, it's a roll.
We have a story out of Mississippi where a black man is having a back and forth conversation with a white woman. And I want you to see the interaction that got him locked up in jail. I want you to see this because, you know, that state, Mississippi, even though Mississippi has a big black population, it just amazes me how these things are going on when black people are so numerous in that state. But there's no real for it.
I understand. I'm looking right at it, sir. It was not fine. Don't shush me. Don't shush me, sir. Please don't. Don't shush me. But you don't shush me. I can't shush you. That's what I'm about to say. He needs to step out for a minute while we discuss something. Give me a hot. Now that I can't do it, I'll do it without him. Thank you. Thank you. Raising his voice and shushing. You're welcome to that. Now, what was the third? Oh, okay, that's right. Okay. You're saying she's racist, but she never said she never said that she's racist.
And you always have one that wants to come to their defense. Alright. First and foremost, I've got to say this. And I'm not necessarily blaming the true victim here, but you have to be conscious, of where you're at. The history. This goes to just in general. Alright. Need I remind you of the same state Emmett Till? Not quite 70 years ago, 68 years this year, I think, to be exact. It's like Come on, Jay. You're still in hell. These people still have a rule over you, over us. All right, it's not necessarily, after viewing this, I don't think he intended to necessarily that being interpreted that way, but you got to understand who you're dealing with. And for that, just the hatred that they have for you, I have to go here. This is from the Void Network. You know, those of us that read certain books were familiar with this particular instance here, which is back in 1931, I believe. And there were initially 3 people. This is in Indiana. But this article is going into the petty reasons that they murdered us. To include things like what this young man did. It goes on to say, of course, this is from Void Network, like I said. For years, the U.S. government allowed racist white lynch mobs to murder, and it's Israelites, it's not white, it's Israelite men, women, and children for practically nothing. This, what I'm going into, is why the concept of Black Lives Matter was supposed to represent. But of course, like anything, you have to understand who the money was behind it and what this individual and his people claim to be, and that's Jewish, they claim to be, and I'm talking about George Soros. So he set up 3 homosexuals, all right, to represent us, again, trying to tie one to the other, and our people keep falling for this bullshit. And it was actually set up to what? Do away with the patriarchy amongst specifically our people. And here you have Jakes, ignorantly so I might add, marching up and down the street with these things. Alright, and they are trying to hijack this. Alright, this is what so-called Black Lives Matter was supposed to represent. It says the lynchings were so absurd, one could argue that black people's lives were little to no value at all. But no, as usual, it got corrupted, and now it's been discovered that it was all about the money, buying property. Now there's supposed to be I don't know how many millions in the red. All right. So now, guess what that does? Actually, it serves to invalidate. And you can't tell me this was probably the intent all along. See, this is how these devils work. All right. They got you looking one way. All right, and they're doing something else behind, the scenes, as usually the case. But again, why are we, as a people, and that's probably a whole nother video, so lucky for, my little rant here. But it's all tied together. So now, like it says, lynchings were so absurd, one could argue that black people's lives were little to no value at all. In one of my last videos, I talked about how even a so-called Asian man, not sure what ethnos he is, whether Japanese or Chinese or, even came out and said, why did we as a people get an anti-hate bill before the people that have been over here for centuries that had to deal with all this shit? Then the hatred that they still have against you. And this is deeper than so-called black and white. All right, that's what you have to know first and foremost. We're not black people. This has to do with Israelites and non-Israelites. Goes on to say, in fact, between 1882 and 1930, in just the 10 southern U.S. states of Florida, Tennessee, Arkansas, Kentucky, North Carolina, Mississippi, Georgia, Louisiana, Alabama, and South Carolina, 2,500 black people were lynched. That's an average of nearly one hanging every week. Below are 10 unbelievable reasons black people were lynched in American history. All right. Throwing stones. Some black people were lynched for throwing stones. Skipping a rock across a lake could lead to death. Unpopularity. There are cases on record that lynch mobs hung some blacks because they were unpopular in the community. Vagrancy. Some black people who were homeless and didn't hold regular employment or made an income were lynched. Injuring or killing livestock. In many cases, blacks, so-called, were murdered for injuring or killing livestock. One could only assume that the animals' lives were seen as more valuable. All right. And in that one, you could tie that to when you go to Deuteronomy. I'll let you know how terrible the Most High is. All right, what you're supposed to. If you kill someone else's livestock, how are you supposed to recompense? So these devils actually were saying, and still are, because you'll see how they'll treat dogs and other pets, and how they, prime example, if you happen to injure or kill a police dog, think about that. Because that dog is considered a police officer, in case you all didn't know. So your life is, like I said, this truly is the valley of the shadow of death. All right, they get you, come at us from all angles. But just in general, you see how people act when it comes to their pets or any animal for that fact. But no, let something happen to us, and it doesn't have to be as the press pushes so much as, gang related or anything like that. It's just totally different. You can sense it, and we see it. It's a whole different reaction when you hear Jake gets killed, or something unfortunate happens, and sad, man. Trying to vote or voting for the wrong party. Although black men were allowed to vote in most states after 1870, many were killed when they were caught trying to participate. So much for the 15th Amendment, right? If they did vote and didn't vote to others' liking, mobs of white men would kill them. You could kind of see or feel rather, after this latest presidential cycle went, you could hear all the hatred, because supposedly the amount of, or percentage-wise, at least they say, we know this is all bullshit anyway, but a lot of our people got caught up in their emotions, and they voted for this asshole, all right, that's in office now. So and you see the you got a lot of, let me put it this way, you got a lot of voters' remorse, all right. Again, you got played. How people get, you're just expected, to vote Democrat. I got you, and our people, unfortunately, have never held these people to task. And as a result, I mean, you're getting nothing for your vote. Nothing, period. Actually, you never have. But yet, you won't still vote Democrat, Democrat, Democrat. And they know it. You know, these liberals, as you're seeing now, have been proven worse than so-called your Republicans. All right? But again, our people just all into emotions and shit. All right? Acting or looking suspicious. Some blacks were killed by mobs because they were accused of acting or looking suspicious around whites, demanding respect. In several cases, blacks were lynched because they demanded to be treated with respect. Voodooism. Voodoo is a form of spirituality that came to America with blacks from West Africa. Many black men, women, and children were murdered when they were caught practicing voodoo. Disorderly conduct. Many blacks were hung for being too loud in public or being deemed as disorderly. Gambling. Black people that were caught gambling during this time were lynched. Hell, even the late Nina Simone made a song about Mississippi. It's called Mississippi Goddamn. All right, in case you want to check that out. That was back in the 60s. You know, the movie, and I encourage you to see it, Mississippi Burning. I think it was 1988 when that came out, and that's with Gene Hackman and Willem Dafoe. Very good movie. All right, continuing on. Let me just say real quick, there's a saying says, there's America, and then there's Mississippi. Just put that out there.
Yes, this brother was charged with assault for shushing her. He didn't put a hand on her, anything. Now, this brother, he definitely got a federal lawsuit on his hands. He got it. Because that is violation all day of his rights. You can't lock somebody up for shushing someone. I mean, it's just that simple. He didn't do anything wrong. But in Mississippi, you know, that's that I'm white and this is what I say. I don't care less about what the laws are, federal law, constitution. I don't care about that. I'm white. And I'm going to control you. That's just bottom line what it is. And I told you this wicked system is backed up militarily and by the police state. That's the only way they can keep this system going. They cannot keep this system going on just regular means. Because any other civilized country, nothing would have happened to that brother. He didn't do anything wrong whatsoever. I went to jail for shushing a white lady. This is why us black people gotta always stand on our square, and when we have the numbers, we need to make sure we control the politics. We need to make sure we affect the change. Because unfortunately, we have thrown our political clout behind the Democrat Party, and that has not done anything for us at all.
Nope.
There's no reason for Mississippi, the state where we got the most black people in it, for black folks to be going to jail for shushing a white woman like it's 1945. Let me know what y'all think about, you know, this situation here with our brother, because this is utterly ridiculous.
And how do you explain that? Being in the majority and having no power? The curses. This is what we get for being disobedient. Alright? This is it. Plain and simple. Deuteronomy 28. Just read. This is madness to keep, as Einstein said, and in this case it's talking about we keep voting, giving up all our political power to a party that don't give a damn. Actually, a people that don't give a damn about us, never will, because they are contrary to us and to the Most High. They are the wicked. I can read Malachi, the first chapter. Alright? They were created, they were set up in opposition of us. This is whose hands we were given for disobedience. And they've done, hey, you gotta applaud them. They've been devil indeed, you know. But we see the light at the end of the tunnel. You know, we see these prophecies coming about. You know, it's one big one that's, hey, it's knocking at the door. For all of you that, you know, refuse or just couldn't because the Spirit wasn't dealing with you, couldn't see these things. Alright, but yeah, we've never had any power here. We never will. That's why, hey, you have to be in that mindset, you know, fuck this place. Alright, really. Everybody else is over us that does not have the history in America that we do dealing with so-called white man. And yet, everybody else profits and benefits at our expense, I might add. And this devil makes sure that. It's not an accident that these things happen. Arrested for shushing and called assault. That part is true, however, when you understand what assault and battery, the assault part is. So they got that right, but it's just so unusual for that to happen without the battery portion of it. For shush, he didn't call her out of her name or anything, didn't put his hands on her, that would be the battery. Who knows? You know, he said that he should have one hell of a lawsuit, but we know that these devils, they twisted. They're able to circumvent certain things. But I guarantee you this, regardless, if he is able to, I will get the hell out of that. I mean, especially if he wins a lawsuit. Especially what I'm saying. He better leave. Because they're good at that also. You know, just somehow, some way, he's going to be found, you know, unalived. But yeah, this is another reason why we tell you we have to get the hell up out of here. This place was never meant for us. You know, hey, Hebrews 11th chapter, 14 and 15 verses. Hebrews 13th chapter. All right. 2 Peter 3rd chapter, from 10 on down. Place got to go. This America, all right, you wonder, and a lot of people, you'd be surprised, have made that connection. America being Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots that ought to be destroyed, you know. Yeah, that's America. A lot of people are still blinded to that effect, but it has been, I should say, reserved. And this so-called white man has been set up to take one huge fall. And this place is going to be, and these people along with it that rule, alright? No one's going to, after this place goes down, no one's going to remember ancient Egypt's downfall more than America's downfall. Alright? That's all I got to say on that. But yeah, arrested for shushing a white woman. It's like, me personally, I don't like to be around them. I don't like to be, if I see them in an elevator by themselves, I just wait for the next one. And I'm serious when I say that. Alright? You just overacting. Okay. And you end up like this young man, or worse. These people hate us. Alright? They're just experts at hiding it. But believe you me, when the time is right, oh, you're going to see it. Hey, so with that, until the next video, hey, shalom.